Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschool-ology. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I've got a 8th grader, 4th grader, kindergartner, and preschooler officially because today's video I'm going to be sharing with you what I did for our portfolio review this year. They just happened, they are complete, and my kiddos have officially graduated and are now 8th grade, 4th grade, kindergarten, and preschool. So I wanted to, my plan was to show you guys like my process of setting this all up. However, my sister homeschooled this year and she needed her portfolio reviewed a little bit sooner than I did. And rather than having my reviewer come out twice, I just, quickly got mine ready as well so that she could come and do all of them at the same time. But I think this is great for me to show you another option of what a portfolio can look like. I have shared a video right here where what my normal portfolios look like. What I do, what I type out, how I make them. And I go a little above and beyond. But I like it as a keepsake for the way it is. I like it as a keepsake. So I do that. But it doesn't have to be done that way. And since this is kind of like exactly what you need, kind of like the minimum of what you need, I did want to go ahead and share this with you. Okay, so first I'm going to show you my sister's because it's a little bit more simple than what mine is, but still meets the standards of what's needed for the state of Florida. So I don't think I mentioned in the intro that this is what you need for a portfolio for the state of Florida. This is your only requirement if you are a public homeschooler, like under the public school umbrella and not in an umbrella school or private kind of situation. There are those kinds of things. If you don't want to do this at all, if you think even this is too complicated, you can go under an umbrella school. I don't do this, so I don't have a ton of information about it, but if you Google it or if you go ask in homeschool mom groups, the information is out there. You just need to ask and somebody can help you with it. But there are some umbrella schools that have different kinds of requirements. There are some umbrella schools that have no requirements at all. And so I don't know where to find those because I don't do it. To me, this is super simple and I don't mind doing this. And so this is the way that I do it. For the state of Florida, the requirements are that you have a log of activity. So, what did you do? This can be as simple as like literally a sheet of paper that writes down, these are the curriculum we use, these are the field trips we went on, these are the things that we did that count as homeschool. That's it. That's all you need. For me, the easiest way for me to do that is to just keep a planner. So this is actually more than what you need. But to me, this is a simpler way of doing it. So the only thing that we do, this is my sister's. Let me get mine and show you one of my pages. Okay, so this is literally all that I do. This is a good example here. Mondays we have so co-op hadn't started yet, but Mondays is normally our co-op day, but we had a play date and we played a game. So I wrote that down. Then these are all the assignments that we did. We did one page in this book, one page in this book. We read aloud what book we're reading right now. Because you do also have to keep, the second thing is a reading log. So like the reading log of books that you read. So I do that by just writing down what we're reading in the book. That meets it. And then, so this takes care of those two things. If you are writing down your log of activities and your reading log, those are two of the things that you have to have. The third thing that you have to have is examples of work. This is super easy, guys. All you have to do, what is completely sufficient for this is, here's her workbook. I put a tab, an orange tab for beginning of the year, a couple of green tabs for middle of the year, and a red tab for end of the year. So I picked what were decent examples of her writing at those times, and put little flags in her workbook. Done. I've met my requirements, okay? Because I have the log here that has the dates. Now, technically, you should be going through and dating these things. I'm terrible about dating. It depends on your your reviewer, if how much of a stickler they're going to be about that. My reviewer was totally fine with me having a beginning example, a middle example, and an end example just marked off as little tabs in the workbook. You could also date them and rip them out and just have a stack for her to look at. My portfolio reviewer doesn't mind flipping through a couple of workbook pages. Okay, so this was what my niece did. She did a couple of workbooks, beginning, middle, end. Marked them, good to go. That's it, guys. My sister's entire, and then she did keep a reading journal, and this counts as your reading log for like independent reading. Okay, so that's it. That's my sister's entire portfolio review, or portfolio to be reviewed. The log is there, the reading log is there, the log of activity, the reading log is there, examples of beginning, middle, and end. That's it, done. She's done. So it really can be super, super, super simple. That's all you need. That's it. So this year, what my stack looks like is not nearly as neat and organized, but this is what I have. I have my planner book that has our log of activities and a part of her reading log. She also kept a reading log, or a reading journal, meets our reading log requirement. And then I provided, I make these, I've shared about these before, I'll link it here. I also have this as a template, so I'll link that down below for you over on my website. But I put this in, these were the subjects we were doing, here's what we used to do it, meets that requirement. And then I printed off our co-op schedules and highlighted, these are the ones that Jason took, these are the ones that Brinley took. That's it. The rest of this stack is just workbooks and work samples. And so I flagged them beginning, middle, and end. And single sheets of paper, I tried to have dates on them. And then like she had a big project that she did. So I made sure to include that in here because that's a lot of good examples of writing. I just do their math tests. I just print out the test and use that as my math work shown. And that's it, guys. That's literally it. So we did 3 portfolio reviews, and I literally had 3 stacks of things here. I'll show you my middle daughter's. So this is my middle daughter's. Hers does have a binder in it because we use pinwheels and you create an English language arts binder, and so I just use that as her work samples. So that's it. Your log, which I use a planner to do, and most everybody is keeping a planner anyways. So literally, I mean, if you're already keeping a planner, your work is already done. That's it. You need your log of activities, your log of reading, your reading log, and examples of work. That's it, guys. It really is that simple. So I hope that helps you guys, for those of you who do need to create a portfolio, to see that portfolios really don't have to be complicated. They don't have to be a lot of extra work. If you're really good about dating, my friend keeps one of those like expandable folder things, and she has a section for each kid, and she writes the date on all of her work samples and puts them all in there, and she keeps a planner, and then when her same portfolio reviewer comes, all she has to do is look through that log and her work samples are right there. She just pulls them out. There's like nothing that has to be done to set up for the reviewer coming. The only work I had to do for this day, I literally did, I did 3 portfolios in less than an hour and a half because I just flipped through pages, found good works, marked them with little flags. That's it. That's all I did, guys. It might have taken me a little bit longer because I'm not as organized as my friend, and all I have is a bin. And I'll put a little B-roll here for you guys. I have bins on the top of these shelves back here, and I just have a bin that I just throw my work in, and so everybody's is kind of all together. All of my kids is all together in there, and I do have to kind of sort out who belongs to who. So that is like the biggest work for me, and if I were a little bit more on top of the game and got myself one of those little file folders, I wouldn't even have to do that part. So like I could have made 3 portfolios in no time at all if I didn't have to sort through that bin, because that was the biggest part of what I had to do, was actually create the the piles and then flag all the workbooks. That's it. That's all I did. And so I did that literally the night before she showed up, and everything went smoothly and wonderfully, and that's all you have to show. So even though I do know it seems complicated, it's not. It really doesn't have to be. So I know the video I shared last year, I got a comment or two about, wow, this seems like a lot of work, and it is a little bit of work to do it that way. But as long as you're keeping that portfolio and the planner and writing everything down in it, every trip you go on, every field trip you go on, everything that you do, just write it down. And I will be honest with you guys, I'm not keeping this religiously. I'm not doing this every single day. I'm lucky if like every other week I go back and write down the things that we did. My goal is to write it down because if you don't know, let's see if I can find that paper. So if you don't know already, if you haven't been around, I do have this checklist, and that's the one that I showed you before. And then I write in for my kiddos what we expect to get through the week. I do that on Sunday. Actually, that's not even true. I do it Monday night when we start on Tuesday because we don't do school on Monday because of co-op. So I write this all out, and sometimes it's Tuesday morning when I finally get to it. But I write it all out. They just check it off. There's check boxes. They just check it off. And then my plan, what I'm supposed to do is at the end of every week, when I am ready to put on the new week, I go through and write down all the things that we did into our planner. We are post planners around here. And so as long as you keep up with that, and as I said, sometimes I do it every other week. I just kind of remember what we did and put it in. I try not to go longer than that because then I forget. But it really is super, super simple. Just a little bit of organization, and it can be done. It can be done very simply, and it is not a lot of work. So if you guys have any questions about this, I will try to answer them the best you can. If I don't know the answer, I will ask my portfolio reviewer and see if she knows the answer. But a lot of this information can be found online by doing a simple search. Your county school board will definitely have a person that is in charge, like over homeschoolers. And so a quick email to that, wherever you send your letter of intent, a quick email to that can probably get you the answers that you need. So the answers are out there. It doesn't have to be hard or a lot of work. It really can be very simple. You only need those 3 things to demonstrate that your child is making progress throughout the year, and that's it. So I think that's it for me today. Don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram at Homeschool-ology. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and the like button to let YouTube know that you guys like these kind of videos. And I hope you will come back and chat with me again real soon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.